This is my EC payroll, EC payroll payslip configuration. So there are different types of use cases. So let me start with the implementation guide as well. So that you will be able to relate it. Okay. So it is in the official implementation guide. If you refer, okay, this will be coming under your P2P, point-to-point replication guide. In that there is a topic called pay statement. Okay. So if you go there, there are different types of pay statement they are saying, like direct statement. There is something called arrow based statement. There is something called Fiori based statement. Okay. But what I will recommend, or even SAP recommends, you have to use this direct pay statement. Okay. So why? Because if you are using this, then you do not have to replicate your payroll results. Whatever payroll results it is coming in your EC payroll, that results you will not means do not require to send it back to your success factor system. Okay. Otherwise, if you are using any other pay statement variety like your Fiori, or there are other ways like arrow based pay statement. Okay. So conceptually, more or less, it will give the same value, but technically, if you are using this arrow based pay statement, you will not be able to use it in the mobile devices. Okay, so this is a problem actually recently we have faced, because we have enabled in my current project arrow based pay statement. For that reason, we are not able to see, the employee are not able to see this in the mobile device. And SAP told, if you are using this arrow based pay statement, you have to replicate. If you are using payroll results, there is a program. Okay, so you have to replicate your payroll results to success factor EC system. Okay, so that is a typical. Okay.
So as per my understanding, SAP when recommending direct statement, which can be shown in the mobile also.
Yes, exactly,
Correct?
exactly. So in this
Yes.
first statement, if you see, the pay statement is displayed with three figures similar to Fiori-like statement, but without the need of payroll results replication. This line is very important. Okay. So
Okay.
okay, so and that is also the reason why we call it a direct pay statement. So that means it is directly upfront. When as soon as you run the payroll, automatically it will be appearing in your success factor, in your people profile, employee profile. They will be going and they will be able to download their statement. Okay, so that is the difference between your direct pay statement, and there are another varieties like your arrow based pay statement. Okay, why it is called arrow? So in the C, if you see in this screen, okay,
I'm
so
not
there is,
able to see your screen.
is it?
I'm seeing only EC payslip configuration only.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Then I think I have shared. I have to share my screen again. Okay, actually I was showing the documentation, another documentation. Let me share that. Mm,
You have to share your entire screen.
yeah, yeah. So I did actually the presentation itself. Okay, so
Ah,
my mistake. Okay, so now I think you will be able to see it.
yeah.
Okay,
Go up.
yeah.
What is
So
it?
this
This
is your
line? Acha.
official SAP implementation guide only, in the point-to-point replication, the chapter number 12. Okay, so
Hmm.
the topic name is pay statement, and in this you will be seeing there are different SAP is calling it use cases. Okay, the first use case is your direct pay statement. Okay, so as I was mentioning, it is there is no need of payroll result replication if you would like to implement this use case direct pay statement, which is recommended by SAP. Okay, so without, if you do not require any payroll results to be replicated, still you can use it, and your mobile application also it will means you will be able to see your pay slip in that as well. Okay,
Okay.
so this is a
Hmm.
direct pay statement, but configuration wise nothing much difference. So almost same similar steps you have to follow. One or two steps only will vary. Okay, same is goes with your arrow based statement. So it is saying we recommend that you do not use this option for mobile devices. That means if you're
Hmm.
using this arrow based statement, suppose in your organization mobile is not, that generally that doesn't happen, but
Hmm.
if you do not want to use it for mobile device, then you should not use this. Okay, like if you would like to show a payslip in the mobile, always use the previous one, that is a direct pay statement. Okay? So that is the difference. And as I was mentioning, in this payslip, why it is called arrow based, there is an arrow here. Okay, so like if you see in this guide, in the top you will be seeing there is an arrow section, like greater than and lesser than symbol. Okay, below this pay statement, so that you can navigate between 2 to 3 months in sequentially. Means if you click that arrow,
Okay.
okay, That is only the
Okay.
reason it is called your arrow based.
Yeah, yeah. इसके लिए arrow बना.
So that is called the arrow based statement. Okay.
Very
The
God.
next one is most another one like Fury based statement, where exactly it is also very similar. So here actually they are saying we recommend to rather use the direct paste statement option instead, as it wouldn't require payroll result replication. Okay. So suppose if you like to use Fury like paste statement, there is no restriction. But if you like to see in the mobile, then you have to understand that you have to replicate your payroll results to the EC. Otherwise, your mobile in the your mobile application you can't see those results. Okay, your payslip will not be seen. Only in the website in your SuccessFactors system you will be able to see, but you can't see in your mobile device. Okay. So for mobile device replicate, you need replication of these payroll results. Okay. That is the concept. And in this, the difference is here. It is page is looks like a Fiori, and you will be able to see the pay periods wise all those pay statements. Okay, so that is another thing. So these are the different types of pay slip you will be seeing across, and this is how the mobile pay slip it will looking like anyway. Regarding the configuration, they have also mentioned here, which I will be going to presentation. I will be showing you directly.
Hmm.
You can see my slide right now.
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing first, that is your creating a pay statement using your HR forms. So here
Hmm.
you may take help from your ABAPR, or you can also do it. It's not much difficult. Okay. So whatever the base types, you have to just pull it, which will be going to your earning, which will be going to your deduction component. Okay. So very similar to the on-premise days, nothing different. Okay. That is step one. Step two is regarding your pay statement. So this is a standard offering. So generally you
Hmm.
have to verify the link, whether this verify
Hmm.
link is a service one. It should be a service one. Okay.
Hmm.
So other than that, nothing much here you have to do. After doing this, step number three, you have to create a feature. Means
Yeah.
okay, HR4 feature you must be aware of, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
so this whatever if you've done a customization, that Z underscore ZSAP underscore pastry that you have to maintain here. If
Yeah.
you're using
Yeah.
standard one, that is well and good. Okay. So these are different features. You just same thing you have to do. Then technical part comes here. Step number four, you have to ensure this body this for using direct pay, because
Hmm.
you suppose you are using direct pay statement option. Okay. So
Hmm.
for that, what you need to do, you have to ensure this HRESS payslip has an active implementation. So this body must be active. So you can see in this
हाँ
screenshot,
उसको implement करना है.
हाँ,
Okay. Body को.
AC21,
Hmm.
the T code is AC21. If you are, even you can do it. So it must be
हाँ.
active. Okay, so this is the
Hmm.
fourth step. After doing this, you'll be able to see your payslip has an active implementation. It should be shown as A. Okay, enhancement implementation. Okay, once this is done, these are different steps. Another thing, so in the there is in the success factor again you have to go back in the picklist center. You have to maintain another level, like wherever you are maintaining, you have to maintain a level called picklist value, rather direct paste
Hmm.
statement. Okay, so
Hmm.
this you have to maintain it. Okay, suppose if you are using direct paste statement. Okay, and if you are not using direct statement, then you do not require this. Then otherwise you have to use
But
this.
go back.
Hmm.
Either also there is a one external code is a pay statement.
Huh.
Here direct pay statement. There is a two
Yeah,
different thing. Huh?
no, yeah, those are two different things. Pay statement is a standard one, okay, which is there already. Okay, so if you're
Okay.
using direct pay statement, okay, in that case, what you have to do, you have to choose a different value here. Okay, so for here I have chosen pay statement, right? And this is the picklist
Yeah.
value. Picklist value I was
Hmm.
talking about. Okay, suppose
Hmm.
if you're using Fiori based or any other arrow based, then you can directly use it. Otherwise, if you're using direct space statement, then from this
Uh,
drop down value, that direct space statement option will come. You have to choose that. Okay, that is the
okay.
only difference. Okay, so once it is
Hmm.
done, then if this is the scenario of direct case. Suppose in case you are not using direct case, rather you are using Fiori based or arrow based, then you have
Hmm.
to schedule this program. So this is a program called RP underscore HR SFEC underscore export payroll results. Okay, this program you need to schedule. Okay, so you need to schedule so that if your payroll results will be pushed into your EC system. Okay, so this is
Okay.
your export results, retails, export cumulated results, all of your results will be moving to your EC system if you are not using direct. Okay, these are the two different options, 4 or 5 steps only, that will complete your entire pay slip configuration. Okay, Any question here?
One more thing. For this kind of integration, there has to be a ECC has to be on S/4HANA.
No. Your EC payroll will be always on EHP 7 or EHP 8.
So ECC EHP 7 can be worked, huh?
EHP 7 or EHP 8, both will work.
There are no node here. I see in my system there is no success factor node.
Oh, okay. Then which EHP you are using?
Might be a patch level issue.
Okay. So that is a problem. So let me now go back to the system and I will show you this thing. And now
yeah, you pause the recording, no issue.
Okay. So I was just explaining the compound employee API. There are three types of API in the SuccessFactors: OData API, your SF API, and your compound employee API. So as I was mentioning, compound employee API, it is required to extract your employee information from your EC system to EC payroll system. Okay, so that is the purpose of your compound employee API. We do not have to go beyond this, like which protocol it is using. All these things technically we do not have to require it, because the technical integration consultant, they go for it. And this is how a typical schema look like for compound employee API XML schema. That details also do not have to go it. But here to understand from this XML, what are the possible information we can extract from the employee central system to our employee central payroll system. So if you see in this XML, like it will say like personal information, person relation, address information. So these are the possible data which we can extract from your employee central to our employee central payroll. Okay, so this is a schema. This schema talks about that. Okay, so these are the things. So where exactly you have to configure? So this is a path which I have already shown to you. This is the path under personal management. You have to go to the detail and configure compound employee API query. Okay. So once we go to this, so this is my path as I was showing to you: personal management, integration setting, configuration of point-to-point replication, then your compound employee API query. Okay. All of the configuration will be happening here. Okay. So inside this, simply you have to enter config name and config ID. Config ID, just it should be understandable. It should be just put a meaningful name. So here I have entered like EMP_REP. That means employee replication. So you can make a simple note of it, like config ID, you have to maintain it. And where exactly you'll be using this config ID? What is the reference point? So I'll just tell you. So there is a replication program which I have mentioned you earlier, like just open, let me open that replication program. Okay, so this is the replication program, HRSFEC_PTP_employee replication. Okay, so here you will be seeing there is something called, in this selection screen, we do not have any option of any other filter other than the configuration ID. Okay, so it will be asking you configuration ID. So which value it will be taking? Whatever you have configured in the compound employee API query, those values only you will be able to see in this configuration ID. Okay, so did you get it, sir? Now. Okay. Did you get it? From where it is coming? So this configuration ID, it will be coming from your whatever you have configuring in the compound employee API query. Okay, so but here one thing you will be observing. So there is no selection screen. Okay, many times people ask, or technically, or client may be asking, I do not want to replicate everything. I want to selective based on my company code, based on my personal area, personal sub area. So those kind of filters options are not there in the standard program. Okay, that is why we need that configuration in the compound employee API query. Okay, so in this, what we can do, we can, whatever is applicable for your organization. So here we have an option called company, country, employee class, compensation pay group. So compensation pay group is your payroll area, employee class is your employee group. Okay, country is country, company is your legal, your company code only. Okay, so here you can put those value, whatever filter if you would like to apply, here only you have to apply, because in the selection stream for point-to-point replication we do not have a filter option. Okay, only we have this config ID option. whatever config ID you are using, okay, so that config ID you have to configure it here. Okay, let's say there is a scenario, so there is a concept of staggered go live. Okay, suppose you are implementing payroll for 5 different countries, but out of that you are implementing for means we are going live for 3 countries or 3 company code currently in the month of June, and for remaining 2 countries if you are planning in October. Okay, so in those cases, what will happen in this company? So in the company or the country, you just mention those company code, okay, by comma separated value. Comma separated value for only those 3 country or 3 company code you mention it, and remaining 2 country later on you can add it here. Okay, so this is the purpose of using this compound employee API query, and how you can filter and you can utilize all those options. Okay, so those are the different things, and there is something called FTSD, full transmission start date. Okay, so this is the date exactly from which date you would like to replicate your data. Okay, so that is a date. It may be your go live date, or if you're using mid-year go live, then also you can use the from which date historically you like to replicate employee data. Okay, that you have to mention it here. Okay, so this is a little tricky, but it is very easy if you once understand the terminology. So in this slide, I have mentioned what is the meaning of each and every terminology in this.
Nice. Okay. Nice work. Yeah.
Config ID, config name, company, country, employee class. So these are very easy to follow. Country. So only important thing is here the last one, fully transmission start date. Okay. So technically, it is your effective dated segment on from which actually you like to go live, or you like to replicate your employee. So that date is important. Otherwise, by default, you can put it like in Employee Central, you can put it like 01/01/1900. In that value also you can use. Then it will replicate all of your employee data. Okay, so in this way you can use this fully transmission start date. Okay. Other than that, the remaining things are very easy. Those are notifications, custom cost center. Okay. So once you have done that, there is another set of configuration inside it. Okay. So now we have seen the first set of configuration, query configuration. Second one is a query segment. Okay. So what is the meaning of this query segment? So in this query segment, what will happen is the XML which I was showing to you, right? There are different types of value for an employee. Okay. So we may not require all the value to be replicated. Okay. So by default, these are the 5 minimum segments. Okay, for any kind of employee central employee point-to-point replication. These 5 the bare minimum, like a compensation, employment, job information, person and personal information. Other than that, we have all these additional things. So in this screenshot, I have taken more. I would like to replicate more values. Okay, so for that reason, I have added more value in this query segment. So depending upon that, whatever value you are maintaining in this segment, those values will be replicated in your EC2 ECP. Okay, so that is the only concept here. Okay, so these are the exhaustive list which is provided by SAP. Okay, like these are the different list of employee API segment. Okay, so this is your point-to-point replication. Your entire this is a major configuration. Okay, so let me go to the system again. I will show you.